Got it.
Okay, well, my topic is about genetic engineering, so
Yes,
let's
thank you.
start.
Right.
Well, back in the 80s, people never would imagine that the computers would soon take over everything, from shopping to dating. In a way, science fiction became our reality and we don't even think about it. In fact, we are at a similar point today with genetic engineering, so let's talk about it. Humans have been engineering life for thousands of years. Those elective breeding, as we talked about it in a previous presentation. But in fact, we never really understood how it works until we discovered DNA.
Okay.
As soon as DNA was discovered, people tried to tinker with it. To illustrate, in the 60s, scientists bombarded plants with radiation to cause random mutations in the genetic code. The idea was to get a useful plant variation by pure chance. Then they started to apply this in animals and bacteria for research, medicine, agriculture, and for fun. The earliest genetically modified animal was born in 1974, creating mice a standard tool for research, saving millions of lives. Subsequently, the first food modified in the lab went on sale in 1994, the Flavor Saver tomato, with longer shelf life. In the 90s, there was also a brief foray into human engineering. To treat maternal infertility, babies were made that carried genetic information from 3 humans. Today, there are super muscle pigs, fast-growing salmon, featherless chicken, and see-through frogs. All of this is already very impressive, but until recently, gene editing was extremely expensive, complicated, and took a long time to do. But this is now changed with a revolutionary new technology now entering the stage, CRISPR. Overnight, the cost of engineering have shrunk by 99%. Why did this sudden revolution happen and how does it work? Well, bacteria save a part of virus DNA in their own genetic code and archive it called as CRISPR, creating a defense against virus system. So the revolution began when scientists figured out that the CRISPR system is programmable. You can just give it a copy of DNA you want to modify and put the system into a living cell. It's important to say that this works for every type of cell, microorganisms, plants, animals, or even humans. But despite the revolution CRISPR is for science, more precise tools are already being created and used.
Okay.
In 2015, scientists used CRISPR to cut the HIV virus out of the living cells, proving that it was possible to cure the disease, but it will take a few years to become a proven therapy. As a matter of fact, CRISPR also could defeat one of our worst enemies, cancer. The first clinical trial for a CRISPR cancer treatment on human patients was approved in 2016 in USA. On the other hand, we have the genetic diseases, and with the powerful tool of CRISPR, we may be able to end this.
Right.
But all of these medical applications have one thing in common. They are limited to the individual and die with them. In addition, CRISPR can and probably will be used for much more. The creation of modified humans designer babies, but this can cause irreversible changes to the human gene pool. The means to edit the genome of a human embryo already exist, though the technology is still in early stages. When this happens, as genetic modifications becomes more accepted and our knowledge of our genetic code enhances, the temptation will grow. If you make your offspring immune to Alzheimer's, why not also give them an enhanced metabolism? This is a slippery slope. Modified humans could become the new standard. Likewise, some scientists even think biological aging could be something that eventually just stops being a thing thanks to this. We would still die at some point, but instead of doing it in hospitals at age 90, we might be able to spend a few thousands of years with our loved ones. Although research into this is in its infancy, and many scientists are very skeptical about the end of aging.
Okay.
Even further to the future, we could engineer humans to be equipped for extended space travel or to cope with different conditions on another planet. Still, a few major challenges await us, some technological, some ethical. Also, it's important to say that we just don't know enough yet about the complex interplay of our genes to avoid unpredictable consequences. While this might be a tempting reason to ban genetic editing and related research, that would certainly be a mistake. Banning genetic engineering would only lead to science wandering off to a place with jurisdiction and rules that we are uncomfortable with. Only with participating can we make sure that further research is guided by caution, reason, oversight, and transparency. So, in conclusion, the technology is certainly a bit scary, but we have a lot to gain, and genetic engineering might be just a step in the natural evolution of intelligent species in the universe. So, despite of our opinion on this, the future is approaching no matter what. And that's all. Thanks for your attention. And this is mainly vocabulary.
Yes.
Okay, first we have genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is the process of using recombinant DNA technology to alter the genetic makeup of an organism. The next is DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is a long molecule that contains our unique genetic code. The next one is infertility, inability to conceive children or young. Feather, any of the flat appendages growing from a bird's skin and forming its plumage, consisting of a partly hollow horny shaft ringed with veins of barbs. CRISPR stands for clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats, which are the hallmark of a bacterial defense system that forms the basis for CRISPR-Cas9 genome editing technology.
Okay.
Disease, a disorder of structure or function in a human, animal, or plant, especially one that produces specific signs or symptoms, or that affect a specific location and it's not simply a direct result of physical injury. Offspring are the young born of living organisms, produced either by a single organism or, in the case of sexual reproduction, two. Skeptical, not easily convinced, having doubts or reservations.
Very good topic. Jimena, congratulations. It's interesting. And let's comment about this. First of all, give me your opinion about this topic. Why you choose this topic?
Well, I found it pretty interesting because it's a very current topic. I think that science is doing a great advance of this by, for example, the infertility treatment. I found this specific topic pretty interesting because it's of course an advantage with this science, because so many people want to have babies but they can't do it by their own, so it's pretty helpful. Of course, I think, as the video said, it's pretty young or in early stages, this topic, like this, it's not very common to talk about this, but I think as it's true that it's pretty scary, I think that it's interesting because, well, we are like a species with so much to learn about life, and I think that it could be possible. It could be maybe no living a human living thousands of years. I think that's pretty unnatural, but maybe more than 100 of years. I think could be. So
Okay.
I'm pretty enthusiasm about this.
Yeah, it's true. The science fiction is now. Now the science is growing a lot, and the human could discover different things, modify the genetic modifications, and obviously that can occur now and nowadays. And I think that could be possible, more could be growing. And in your opinion, what could be the next step?
Well, I think we have to focus more on the disease we talked about it, like the infections or even genetic or even cancer. I think that's the next topic that scientists or medical scientists have to focus on, because it's pretty important, because for living more years we have to defeat these diseases. So I think
That's correct.
it's like the next step in our evolution.
It's correct. Well, do you want to say something else about this topic? Another.
Well, only that I found this pretty interesting, but I think we won't leave for telling because it sounds like pretty in the future, further in the future.
Yes, further. Okay, Jimena, I think that's all for now. Now, congratulations for your topic, your presentation. Good, very good, professional, and very interesting topic. Thank you, Jimena.